this is going to happen to you, so you didn't know?
So, I'm not, I mean, this gang culture, man, it's difficult to explain. I thank God that I was able to walk away, you know what I'm saying, because I didn't have any blemishes on my name. But at the time, you had 3 gangs that dominated the prisons, you know what I mean? And he was a part of a gang that didn't have so many numbers, you know what I'm saying? And he was a vice lord. And so, and they had altercations, with the guys they have beef with. Mm-hmm. And he didn't know anything about it. It just popped out. At the time we was on what they considered to be the small yard in the prison. You got the big yard and you got the small yard. The yard is situated between the 2 housing units where they warehouse people. You know what I mean? And we was there and this just popped out. And you can't run. You know what I'm saying? You can't run. If you run from an altercation, man, you scarred for life. Right. The duration of your time, it's going to be hard. It's nothing the brother could do.
He survived this.
He survived.
This altercation.
He survived.
Was y'all at odds after this? Because he knew?
Nah.
He understood?
He understood. Yeah. He understood, man. He didn't get into my affairs and I didn't get into his affairs. You know what I'm saying? Because of our gang affiliation. And mind you, the both of us was like ranking. We were considered to be like little homies. I was a little homie. I was a little low. You know what I'm saying? And he was, I guess, a foot soldier at the time. You know what I'm saying? So he would be considered a foot soldier. And there's things that we had to abide by. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I would have intervened into what was going on at that time, I jeopardized my homies. Right. You see what I'm saying? And I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't see to put myself in that situation. I couldn't see to put my homies in that situation. And, it was just something I had to live with, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, thank God that brother survived. You know what I mean? And it was so bad that the facility stayed locked down for like 4 months. 4 months. Policy was changed throughout the state of Tennessee, all because this one particular incident. Policy was changed. That's how bad this riot was. Yeah.
You had mentioned earlier in the conversation that, your family had come from the Christian faith. Or
right.
Is the Christian faith, whatever.
Most definitely.
Big belief in God. And they instilled that in you,
right.
Of course. Was it days where you was like, man, I don't know. Did you ever question?
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, I never questioned God, bro.
Yeah.
Ever. It's, I believe everything in life is predetermined. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because I don't, I can't say that God intended me to do what what I done. It's difficult, right. But I feel like everything is predetermined. You know what I mean? So I feel like that I would never question God, never. Yeah. I can't do that. I'm one of those brothers. I'm a strong believer. Even though you might see me out here in these streets, you might see me otherwise, but nah, my faith, nah, yeah, nah. I used to go to church while I was there. I would go attend when they have the black services. It's a lot go on in the churches in prison. I know we living in the daytime, and I don't mean any disrespect. I don't mean any disrespect, but you subject to see homosexuality in the church. Acts being performed in the church, doing church services. So that was enough to keep me away from the church services at the various facilities. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. You see drug deals going on in the church. So, this is not for me, but my faith is there, so, I never question God. Most definitely not. I also want to say this, throughout the duration of my incarceration, man, I know I received a lot of prayers.
Yeah.
So I think those prayers protected me. You know what I mean? And how can I question God?
Right.
When I know my time in prison wasn't difficult physically. Yeah, mentally, it had some impact mentally, especially when I had to go do those 10 years solitary confinement. Yeah, it had some effects.
10 years solitary confinement.
Yeah.
What led to that?
Well, there was some incidents that transpired. I wound up having an altercation with some authority figure, some polices, and caught some assault charges against the police while I was in prison. So all of my altercations really come from authority, fighting the police. I just refuse to be talked to any kind of way. So when you fight the police, you can't get away from that. Right. I could fight you all day in one of these rooms and walk away. You beat me, I go to my room, lay down, lick my wounds, 3-4 days. When I heal up, I'm out. But when you fight the police, it's different. There's no escaping that. So I wound up having an altercation, me and some homies with the police, and we smashed. So they caused me to do 5 years in 1999. I was in Northwest Corrections at this Thunderdome. I wound up doing 5 years, was released, and I stayed on a compound. Went to another facility, a compound, and I stayed out probably about 13 months. And I caught another assault charge. So I had to go back and do another 5 years in solitary confinement. And just that stint of those 10 years, physically, once again, I'm straight. But mentally, a little effect. Yeah, a little effect. And this is what a lot of people don't realize. A lot of people don't notice. Like, when you in that solitary confinement, you don't come out for 1 hour a day. And that door doesn't open for any kind of interaction with any human unless you get on your knees first and then allow them to handcuff you and put shackles on you. That's how they deal with you. That's how they escort you from point A to point B. So, and a lot of people that's listening, they don't, like I said earlier, we all have, we know somebody that's incarcerated. And when we receive those phone calls, we get the good side. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, we kicking it. Yeah, homie, we getting high. Yeah, man, I got the deuce. I got some deuce. Yeah, I'm on Facebook making video, TikTok, but they don't tell you the flip side of this shit. Excuse my French. They don't tell you the flip side to it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It gets rough. And those 10 years solitary confinement, man, once you go through it, even if it ain't number 18 months, once you go through it, you're not receiving no phone calls. You can't make any phone calls. But once every 30 days, you ain't got nobody sending you money. You don't know where your next meal coming from, unless it's the state, what they provide you. Your homie's not writing you. You know what I mean? Yeah, it takes an effect on you, man. It makes you change your perspective, your outlook. It makes you want to do better. Like, man, this ain't what's up. Right. Nah, this ain't what's up. And unfortunately for me, man, 5 years wasn't enough. Yeah. 5 years wasn't enough, brother. I didn't catch it. I stayed out on the compound, got into it. Excuse me, it wasn't me. It was my homeboy. He got into it. I got to go. So I get caught up. Go do another 5 years. Another 5 years. And that last 5 years is what triggered, that hit me. I can't be doing this. Right. I started thinking, I'm in and out of segregation while I'm incarcerated. And like, man, this is like being in and out of the county jail as a free person. I'm destined to be a repeat offender. You know what I'm saying? In and out of the county jail. What am I gonna do? When I go home, be straight back locked up. I'm doing it in here. Being put in segregation while I'm serving time, it's like going to jail. That's what they call it, going to jail. What's C-Rock at? Groove, he in jail, in the hole. So if I didn't change that behavior, if I didn't change my outlook, it's gonna happen out here. Yeah. Yeah. So, that last 5 years had a real effect on me, you know what I'm saying? So I knew that I had to change.
How far were you in your sentence? when this is occurring? You say you've done 5 years
Yeah.
of solitary confinement twice.
Yeah.
How far are you in your actual sentence?
The whole 2000s I spent in solitary confinement. From 2000, so I actually went in 1999, and I got out for like 13 months, maybe anywhere from like 13 to 14 months. Went back. So from 2000 all the way up to 2011, solitary confinement. The whole time. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm interacting with my family from behind the glass, closed, you know. At one point, I was only able to call home once every 30 days. God forbid, I get a 30-minute phone call. God forbid, the phone hangs up. You know, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, the whole 2000s, man, it was like spent solitary confinement for me. And 2011, I was released, and I was sent to South Central Corrections. And that's when I made this decision. I think that's when I became conscious. You know, you heard me use the term unconscious. You know, my troubles continue from the streets to the beginning of my incarceration, the intermediate part of my incarceration. And that's when I made the switch. I became conscious. At the end, I decided to get my GED, settle down, change my perspective, the way I see things, you know, my outlook on just life in general. You know I wanted to go home. I'm seeing guys, the homies go home. You know, the phone numbers change. Yeah, you know, I'm hitting these numbers up, they changing. Like, okay, yeah, maybe this is not what it's cracked up to be. You know what I'm saying? So they changed.
Was it ever a moment in which you had parole hearings?
Yeah, I only had 2 parole hearings.
You had 2
Yeah.
Parole hearings. Was it let's talk about what the first one. Was you just like, man, you know what? They ain't finna let me come home. No way. I'm finna go in here, you know what I'm saying, say what I gotta say. I'm finna get on back down.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. I never took that stance, man. Right. You know, I went to my parole hearing with the expectations of coming home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because mind you, like I told you in 2011, I changed my whole outlook.
Yeah.
You know, I'm taking these classes. I'm putting in an honest effort to rehabilitate myself. You know what I'm saying? Which is a funny thing, but yeah, I'm taking these classes, these courses. I'm getting educated. I joined college. Yeah, I had the expectation of coming home. Yeah. I had people, you know, advocating on my behalf, showing up my parole hearing. I had people praying for me the entire time. So yeah, I had made a complete 360 from 2011 once I was released from solitary confinement. You know what I mean? After 5 years, I done a complete 360. Now I had some setbacks. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't easy. I went back to, you know, segregation a couple of times for a few incidents, but I had to take care of myself. But yeah, I did have some setbacks, and but I had the expectation of coming home, man. I really did.
What was it, when you went to your parole hearings, like what was their excuses for not letting you out?
Well, I went before the oldest member of the parole board. His name was James Montgomery. And you know, I'm gonna say this, I probably shouldn't say this, but I think he needs to move on out the way. Man, he's like 100, so
he's still in position.
Yeah. But I went before him, man, and you know, when I went in, they read your for those never been, you know, they read the nature of your charge. They read, you know, your social and all this whole other stuff. Make sure you are who they, you know, is in front of them, excuse me. So one of the first things he said, well, Mr. Vaughn, I see you got 46 disciplinary infractions. So when he said that, you know, it kind of like messed my spirits up. It's like, man, I'm hit. And I'm not going home. Talking about my infractions. He said, Mr. Vaughn, I see you got 46 disciplinary infractions. He said, but I don't think you're a monster. He said, you come to prison when things were a whole lot different, in which I did. But I had the expectations of coming home, man. And the reason why they didn't let me come home is because they wanted to see who I am, who I portrayed myself to be in front of them at that very moment. Mm-hmm. So they put me out 12 months. Could have been worse. I thank God Yeah, I thank God. Because as I look in retrospect to my life, where I come from, to the moment I sat before them on that day, June the 11th of 2022, and where I come from, I wasn't supposed to be there. Not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
With all the stuff I've been through, I'm just giving y'all a snippet. You know what I'm saying? I've had several like run-ins. You know, I was extremely rebellious, not towards my own brothers. You know, I didn't have a problem. If I seen, you in prison, I didn't have a problem with you. My problem come with authority. Just being rebellious, with administration. Nah, I'm not doing this. All right, pack up, you going to the hall. Stuff like that. So I receive a mass majority of my disciplinary infractions for being rebellious. Not because I was being, hard on the guys. I wouldn't be hard on you guys. When you in the same circumstance I'm in. You know what I'm saying? We trying to get up out here together. So my problem come with authority. Being told what to do continuously. That's where my majority of my stuff comes from. You know what I'm saying? Also riding with the homies. Having to, do things that I regret. You know what I'm saying? So, but when I was put out for parole, just a year, 12 months, man, I was happy. Yeah, I was happy.
So you had another opportunity. So you was gonna have another parole hearing
12 months later.
12 months later.
Yeah, 12 months later.
Okay.
And I was extremely happy. I see guys go up in my situation, bruh, 6 years, come back in 6 years, come back in, 34 months, 12 months. So that told me 12 months, all I had to do was maintain, who I am, stay out the way for 12 months. And these folks gonna give me a second chance at life. Man, you know how happy I was? Yeah.
I wanna rewind back to the night you went to Clarksville. You said it was the night that changed your life forever.
Yeah.
Leading up to what happened, give us a rundown on what happened. Like, was there a physical altercation with you and the guy, or like, just give us a...
So I'm gonna say this, man, because I'm glad you asked the question, because there has been a lot of discrepancy about what transpired that night. And like I said, for me, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, when you take full accountability for your actions, it means being transparent. I don't like to minimize. I don't like to marginalize when I talk about what transpired that night. So I'm gonna say this: I done what I done. What people said I done. Yeah, I took someone's life that night, but the circumstances surrounding that particular incident is a little bit twisted. Some guys, when people in Springfield heard about it, the first thing, nah, not Bubba. That's not him. Man, he ain't shot nobody. Nah, it had to be the young man that was with me. And for those who embrace that, for those who believe that, I'm here to set the record straight. It wasn't. It was me. Yeah, I made that decision that night as an unconscious individual to pull that trigger. You know what I'm saying? But the circumstances, like I said, surrounding that is a little bit complicated. I did not rob anybody. Anybody that know me growing up, I'm not a rob. Never robbed anybody in my life. I never thought about robbing anybody in my life. You know what I'm saying? The altercation transpired over a female. So that's where he and I had altercations, over a female. And I shot the young man. I took his life. I regret it. Full-heartedly to this day. Worst mistake ever. Yeah, but, I just want to put that out there because the young man, I'm going to say this, I'm not going to put any names out there, but the young man that was with me is deceased now. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm doing him a great service by speaking and taking it away from him. You feel me? So he did not do that. He didn't have no influence over me whatsoever. He didn't, you need to do none of that. He just so happened to be one of the young men that was known to be with me, in which he was with me when I stayed in Clarksville. You know what I'm saying? It was 2 young men. It was 3 of us together. It was 2 of them, but this one young man was with me in particular the night that this happened. The other young man, I don't know where he was at. He was out somewhere, I guess with a girl or whatever. But nah, the young man didn't do that. That was completely me. I take full accountability for it. You know what I'm saying? I most definitely want to take any discrepancy away from his name that people might be holding on to. Yeah,
Right. I'm glad you cleared that up because just me over the years hearing bits and pieces of the story, I always heard it was a robbery and it was the other guy, and so I'm glad you cleared that up for us.
So how have you transitioned? You know, you mentioned that you decided to take a turn as far as the way you thought, the way you process things, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Most definitely. Like I said, just my thought process in general, man. Just it kept leading me down this deep road. I kept finding trouble. You know what I'm saying? In and out of segregation while I was, incarcerated. So I knew that I had to change. I knew. My parents kept pressing me for my GED, and I used to play with those phones and stuff while I was there, and that's part of the reason why my stay in prison was so long. I kept getting caught with phones and stuff like that. Different types of contraband, but this might sound crazy, man, but it's the truth, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I would meet these women, and they wanted to hear my story, and they would be like, "Well, what have you done?" And like, no response. You got a GED? And I met this one particular girl. She was like, she's a young lady. She said, "Bro, you got a GED?" I'm like, "Nah." And she said, "Man, you 40s and you ain't got no GED?" And that crushed me, man. Yeah. Because, I'm a young man, a young black man at that. You know what I mean? And here it is. I'm a 40-year-old in my 40s with no GED. Come on, bruh. You know how that sounds? And I've just done all this time in prison. And on top of that, I got my parents pressing me. "Man, you need to go on with your GED while you in there." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I felt like, if I got my GED, that would put me on the right path. And it turned me around. So immediately once I was released from serving my second stint of solitary confinement, I joined the GED class, and I got my GED on the first try, and I didn't stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't stop, and I wanted more. So I was transferred from South Central to the Turner Center where I was released from, and I sought, further education. At first, I went into becoming a barber. I wanted to be a barber, but unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to graduate. My instructor wound up retiring, but I was introduced by older man, THEI, program called THEI, the Tennessee Higher Education Initiative. And this is a college program where the THEI is a non-profit organization, but they bring these colleges into the facilities, and they give you the opportunity to get your college degree, an associate's or a bachelor's. So at first, I was a little bit intimidated because I'm not so great with math. At least I thought I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, I'm not going to no college, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting up in there. You know what I mean? Nah, I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keep on working in this factory. You know what I'm saying? This little minimum wage job I got, minimum wage job that I got. I'm not doing that. But I don't know what it was to come over me to take the placement test. And the first time I failed it. You know what I mean? It was Nashville State Community College, a placement test. It was it's not that complicated, but I failed it. And I went back, not because at that moment in time, I went back because, not because it was something that was in me. I went back because I felt like I don't want you to think that I couldn't pass this test and look at me in a negative way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I went back. I tried it again, and I passed it. So when I got into college, man, I loved it. Yeah, I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. You know what I'm saying? It opened up a whole lot of doors for me. You know, it presented a whole lot of opportunities. Just being inside of the classroom, interacting with professors, you know, having these conversations, being able to critically think, and all the while still deal with what's the word I'm looking for? You know, deal with the distractions of prison and still complete my work and pass this curriculum that these professors, okay, I'm on something. Yeah, I'm on something. I like this. So now I continue my studies. I decided to, you know, get an associate's degree in political science. Now I know it's nothing I can do with a political science degree, but at that moment it switched. You know, I'm like, man, I give a damn what y'all think. It's about me now. So I'm gonna get this degree in political science because I know it's something can't nobody take from me. You know, I was still at the moment intimidated by math a little bit, you know, the path in which you have to take for a business and a political science degree is a little bit different. You have more maths than you do in the political, in the business than you do the political science. So I chose the political science because it's less math. But at that point, it was more so about me. Like, okay, yeah, I want this. Yeah, I'm gonna get this. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody take this from me. And, you know, it shows people that I can start something and I can complete it. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that, yeah, I like it. And besides, I dropped out of high school. I never graduated from anything. You know, the GED, yeah, but there was nothing. You know what I'm saying? But just, you know, people really look down on GEDs. And I commend people for taking the initiative to get the GED. I mean, it can be huge. But for me, you know, I wanted something more. I wanted to graduate. I see all my classmates, people I went to school with, that graduate, you know, walk across the stage. And I wanted that too. So that's part of the reason why, you know, I decided to go to school. And now, right now, as we sit, I'm one course. I have to take a literature course before I become, you know, get my degree as an associate in political science. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, man. It's huge. Yeah, it's huge.
Have you already started the class?
No.
You haven't?
No. The reason why I haven't started, I had the opportunity to start when I first come out. I could have took it. But after being in prison as long as I have, man, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. Education was the last thing that was on my mind. You know, I know everything was going to be coming so fast, and I didn't want to take this literature course and all this distraction. You know, just being, trying to get acclimated back into society.
Yeah.
And at the same time, maintain my curriculum, my work, you know, to get this degree. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, man, you know, you know, the world was moving so fast when I walked out those prison doors, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I kind of like shedded a little tear.
That's what I want to ask you.
Yeah, I cried a little bit.
Moment.
Yeah, I cried a little bit.
That moment when you saw freedom.
Yeah, man, it's just like, wow.
30 years later.
Yeah, it's like full circle.
Yeah.
And it didn't hit me, man. Like I'm walking down this long hallway. It's like a hallway forever. It's probably like 30 miles long. You know what I'm saying? And I'm walking down and it didn't hit me the whole time I'm in this hallway. But once I opened those double doors and I stepped out onto the sidewalk and I hit that pavement and I seen my queen, you know, she had a vehicle. Oh yeah, it hit me a little bit. Yeah, you know, I didn't bawl boo hoo hoo, but a tear came out. You know, I finally made it. I survived.
How long before you got released, the day that you got released, how long before that did you know that you was going on that day?
And that was the hardest time ever. It took about a month and a half from the time I actually made parole until I walked out the doors. That was the hardest time ever. You know what I mean? But
because I'm guessing.
I want to ask, man, you know, what's it been like? What's freedom been like, man? You transition to the free world, you know, society. You know, how has that journey been, man?
Well, man, it's beautiful. Just being honest with you, man. You know, being a free person, uh, it makes you appreciate life much, much more. It makes it changes the way you see things. You know what I'm saying? Once you have to go and commit, you know, your life to you know, being warehouse, you know, being in prison. You know, you see things different. It makes you much, much more humble. Uh, you you appreciate this thing called empathy. You know what I'm saying? You have much more respect for people. But the transition itself, man, it was at first when I walked through those doors and I got into the city, you know, Davidson County, you know, things was like 100 miles an hour. It was fast paced. You know, I told my queen, like, you got to slow this car down. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, I haven't rode in the front seat and Lord knows when. It's been over 30 years, right? So, queen, you got to slow down. So, but for the most part, man, you know, I'm adapting. I have adapted, I think, pretty good. You know what I'm saying? And I have to contribute that to the fact that I was able to get my hands on phones while I was locked up. They kept me in touch with society. You know what I'm saying? There's certain trends, what was going on with the books, certain things that was going on within communities. But man, it's pretty good. It's pretty good, man. And you know, I'm extremely grateful, and you know, I'm appreciative of what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of where I come from. Yeah, most definitely.
Big blessing, man.
Yeah,
Big
it's
blessing.
a huge blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge blessing.
You don't look like a man that done 30 years incarcerated.
You know, I get that a lot.
Yeah. You carry yourself well.
I get that a lot.
Well
And
spoken.
I think, you know, a lot of times people don't want to hear, you know what I'm saying? People don't want to, they don't want to hear that, you know, unfortunately. But, you know, I don't try to glamorize, you know, me doing 31 years in prison.
Right.
I don't want to glorify that. You know, people that know my story, cool. I mean, that's cool. But for me to meet somebody just walking down the street or at the bank, Walmart, or whatever, yeah, you know, I just got out. No, I don't carry that. You know, that's a chapter I'm trying to turn. You know, I read the chapter, I'm through with it. But, you know, I try to carry myself like you guys, like just like a normal person. You know what I'm saying? It's my struggle. I know it's my past, not my struggle, it's my past. I never forget where I come from, but yeah, I try to put that try to close it and let me forget about it. You know what I mean? People ask me about it, they ask me to elaborate, speak on it, yeah, of course. You know, I feel obligated. I feel obligated to you brothers. That's why I agree. You know what I'm saying? I agree. I feel obligated to those who know about the situation that transpired that caused me to be where I was. I felt obligated to those people because there was discrepancy about what transpired that night. And everybody needs to know the truth. It's therapeutic for me, you know, just sitting there being able to get the truth out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
What kind of advice do you have for the youth to keep them from having to go through what you've been through?
Man, I don't think it's the youth. I think it's the parents. You know what I'm saying? Parents need to be more strict. You know, need to be more stern, more adamant. You know, take these phones out of these kids' hands, make them go outside, make them interact. You know, as far as the youth, man, you know, 16, you know, going through high school, you know, my advice is education. You know, we were just talking about reading. You know, we as young black men, we are some smart, inquisitive young black men. You know, some young brothers out here can do some great things. But it seemed, for some reason, our minds are just locked. You know what I'm saying? It's just locked up. And we were just talking about reading. And I was telling the brother that, you know, I feel like reading is fundamental because it helps you to articulate your thoughts, helps you to express yourself, where people can understand you. A lot of brothers, they talk, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? I mean, look how unattractive that is.
Right.
How uneducated that sounds. You know what I mean? I just said it. So, but, so no one's really going to want to give you a chance when you present yourself in that manner.
Right.
So now, I encourage these kids, 16, to, be yourself. It's okay to be yourself. You don't have to be a part of a gang. You don't have to fit in. The world has changed so much. We come from a culture where fitting in was straight. There's so many different personalities, running around. You have all sorts of characters. So, I mean, it's cool to be yourself. You want to be a nerd, be a nerd. Be the best damn nerd that you can be. You know what I'm saying? You want to be an entrepreneur, be an entrepreneur. Be the best damn entrepreneur you can be. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you strive out to be as a young person, be the best that you can be. And you can do it by yourself. Just stay in schools, go hard. The smarter you are, the better you are. You know what I'm talking about? So, I mean, it's cool. You don't need to, be running around, not obeying your parents like I did, so there's structure. And I think parents need to set structure for their kids, instill that discipline in their kids, set their kids up to be successful, start teaching kids financial literacy, how to manage the money. So that's a problem I have. As soon as I get money, I spend it. It's because I wasn't taught.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Teach kids how to invest, how to be better, than what we was offered. So, yeah. It's, to the kids that's listening to this, it's okay to walk away from that pressure, man. If you need to talk to somebody, feel comfortable going to your parents. If you see me out on the streets, pull me up. I'll chop it up with you. I'm going to give it to you 100. And I promise you, I keep it between me and you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give you the best advice I can give you. If I can't help you, I'm going to find somebody who can help you. You know what I mean? So, that would be my advice to the kids. Feel comfortable with talking to people about what's going on with you. And of course, like I said, get your education. That's the most important thing in the world. You can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. I'm going to say this. You can't even wash dishes in prison without a GED. Really.
Wow.
Really. So imagine, you can't do nothing out here without a GED. Yeah. You limiting yourself. You limiting yourself, to a certain bracket. It's like being able to earn $30,000 a year. That's not enough to sustain you. You know what I'm saying? So why not get educated? You want to be in a certain income bracket. You don't want to have to work and your check is outweighing your bills. You know what I'm saying? Or your bills, excuse me, that's the other way around. Your bills outweighing your check. You know what I'm saying? You have to work two, 3 jobs just to stay ahead. Set out, strive to go to college. Be the best that you can be. That's my advice to the kids. Be the best that you can be, because I promise you, once you get on the other side of that gate, you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it. Nah, I come from that, and I don't like it. I don't even like to talk about it. But like I said, this is the perfect opportunity for me to clear up any discrepancies people might have about what transpired. I feel like I'm obligated, you know what I'm saying, to set the record straight. You know what I'm saying? Also, if I could be an influence, to discourage anybody that might be thinking about walking down that path that I chose. Yeah, I feel obligated to do that, to speak. So, yeah.
Man, we so appreciate you, man. This conversation was, we appreciate that, man. You know, this conversation was needed, man. You know, to hear your story, you know, your walk, your journey, man. I want to get it out there for the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And especially the youth, they probably can take something from this and use it, you know what I'm saying, as motivation to want to do better and make better choices, man. You know, so yeah. Most definitely.
I'm gonna say this one more time, man. For anybody, man, that's like considering walking down that game path, man, and you, it's a struggle for you. You know, I'm on Facebook. I ain't hard to find. Talk to me, and I'll help you. You know, I help you with that journey. You know what I'm saying? Because I promise that that's not what you want. Yeah,
That's
for
real.
sure.
That's real. That's real.
There you get, hey, there you have it. We just broke the knob with Matt Vaughn. He got away from that other name.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
I still answer to it, man, but it's just not by preference. You know
let me ask this. What's the reason that you trying to get away from that called Bubba?
But that's the past, man. You know, my parents gave me that name. You know what I'm saying? And besides, you know, I'm a 50-year-old man, still being addressed by alias.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. So it's not a good look.
Gotcha. Not
a good look. Yeah, you see me downtown, and Bubba. Yeah. Nah, man, come on. You know, it's also a part of me wanting better. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I can will be able to achieve what it is I desire. But if I do, I don't want to be sitting in a position, you know, owning, operating, conducting business, and have you walk before me, Bubba. Nah.
Right.
Nah, I need for you to address me as Mathis.
Respect.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's what it is, man. You broke the knob to the max.
Yeah.
Man, we appreciate you.
Man, I appreciate y'all, brother. I appreciate y'all more than y'all even know. You feel me?
That's what's up.
Y'all.
Man.
See you next time.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Man, like your daddy told you, take care of yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what it is, man.
Yeah.